Did the Eagles really go into Dallas and give us uninspired football? How? How is that physically possible? They are our biggest rival, and you're telling me that they weren't ready to play, they weren't prepared, and they didn't have enough juice to go out there and compete? They just got waxed and obliterated by their division rival. I didn't expect the Dallas Cowboys to lose that game. I mentioned this in one of my preview videos. Bad football teams lose 4 straight games. The Dolphins, the Jets. Who else is out there? The Redskins. Those are the type of organizations that lose 4 straight games. The Cowboys, as much as we rip them and we chirp them and we despise the Cowboys, they're not at that level. Okay, they're just not. So it was a tough position for the Eagles to be in, to go into Dallas with so much pressure on the Cowboys to not lose 4 straight. But that's not the problem here. That's not the issue. The issue is our head coach, Doug Pederson, is the leader of men. That's what he is. He's this guy that can rally the troops, keep the locker room together. Well, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in a couple weeks, and tonight was brutal. And he was asked after the game, Doug, was this your worst loss as a head coach? And he said it's either 1 or 2. It's that painful. It's that bad. This is unacceptable. What we watched tonight, that's the 2019 Philadelphia Eagles. And the quicker you realize that, the less painful it will be. The football team is not good. From offense to defense to coordinator, Mike Groh, horrible. Doug Pederson, not off to a great start this season. And yes, even Jim Schwartz, all right? I defended Jim earlier this year because he had horrendous players back there, and he still does. But I'm not going to tell you he's the greatest coordinator in the world either. My point earlier in the season was I can't judge him considering I'm playing back there at corner. But just horrible. I mean, it's horrible. We start the game off deferring. Wow. Okay. Then instantly we fumble. Dallas Goedert fumbles. And you watch their work ethic to get to that fumble compared to ours. Are you serious? Where's the sense of urgency? And speaking of sense of urgency, where's that on my part? I almost forgot to tell you. I can give you free money. Use the promo code BROADS for $20 off of your SeatGeek's total purchase when you are buying tickets. So get yourself to a game today and save $20. How dare I almost forget to do that? But seriously, we finally try and get the ball first to have rhythm with our offense so we don't get off to a slow start and we fumble the ball right away. And then Scandrick misses Tavon Austin, who takes it to the house, and he got juked insanely. Okay, 7-0. Oh, what's that? Lane Johnson gets abused by Lawrence. Wentz gets stripped. And then Zeke runs over Malcolm Jenkins and eventually scores a touchdown. Oh, we're down 14-0 6 minutes into the football game. Wow. Another 10-plus point deficit. Who would have known? It's embarrassing. It's happened every single game so far this season except for the Jets. How do you win football games like that? You don't. I'm going to tell you. You don't. You just don't. So we're down 2 touchdowns within 6 minutes. Unbelievable. And Lane Johnson had a horrible game. He's supposed to be one of our leaders. He's talking trash all the time, right? That's what he does. He talks trash on Twitter. He says things to the media. He did not, and I mean he did not back it up today. Lawrence was the one who told Doug Pederson to shut his ass up when Doug Pederson said we were going to go into Dallas and win, and then he abused our best right tackle. Got the big play. Just sickening. Sickening. So that's 6 of 7 games. We are down 10-plus points. What a recipe for success, am I right? And speaking of the offensive line, Dillard getting thrown into the fire. Quinn had his number a couple times. One of them was on back-to-back plays. Dillard had some learning experiences in this football game. There's no denying that. So how about this offense? Really? No targets for Ertz for a wild amount of time early in the game. Then at half, we had one wide receiver with a catch, and it was 6 yards, and it was real early in the football game. I mean, are you kidding me? Just no flow whatsoever. Doug Pederson on 3rd and 4 dials up a run play for Miles Sanders, who misses the gap to get the first down because he's dancing in the backfield. He's an explosive guy when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield, which is ridiculous because he didn't do that all throughout Penn State. But when it comes to running the ball as a running back, he looks atrocious. He doesn't understand how to hit gaps at all. At all. But what is that play called, Doug? 3rd and 4, and we're going to be all lackadaisical and be scared to dial up something to throw the ball? I mean, that's your MO. Your MO is to be aggressive. That seems so conservative to me in that moment. 3rd and 4, and we're dialing up a run play to Miles Sanders where he doesn't get the first. Now, you can argue the play was open. It was available to get the first down, so was it truly a bad play call or was it a bad execution? Okay, I understand, but it's still on the conservative side, and that's not what Doug Pederson stands for. Speaking of wide receivers, Nelson Agholor, is he bad? That bomb from Carson Wentz where he just, I don't know, did he not track the ball correctly, which is something I've stated before. He doesn't know how to track balls. Did he not feel like diving for it, his effort level? I don't know what it was, but it's so bad and pathetic that he wasn't able to bring that catch in. It was perfectly put in a spot for him to make the catch. He had the people beat that needed to be beat, and he short-armed it, but he was behind the defender. It's so unexplainable. It really is. But let's get to Carson. Carson was awful. Carson Wentz was awful today. Now, am I going to sit here and say, it's time to move on from Carson? Ooh, maybe all you people were right. He isn't the right guy. No, you don't start over because Carson Wentz had a tough night tonight, all right? Let's not get way ahead of ourselves here and blow this out of proportion. But he had a really bad football game. Throw a pick, fumbled, the one snap hit him right in the hands, right in the chest, and he just fumbles it. There was a time where he didn't realize a blitz, and he got a shot right at him. I mean, the shot was taken right at him because he didn't realize the blitz, and it was coming full speed. He didn't move the protection. He didn't figure anything out. He just hiked the ball. Well, that's on him. That's on him. Mills played for the first time in a year. Isn't it sad that we're excited when he gets beat, but he was in the frame? That's how bad it's been defensively with these cornerbacks. The wide receivers are 20 yards wide open. Well, with Jalen Mills, they were about 1 or 2 yards wide open, and the receivers made the play. How do I think Mills played tonight? For not playing football in a year, yeah, I thought there were some missed tackles here and there, and that was throughout the entire defense as a whole. But for Mills specifically, a missed tackle here and there, but his coverage was there. For not playing in a whole year, his coverage was better than any cornerback we have seen so far through 7 weeks, and there's just no denying it. Amari Cooper had that stellar play by the sidelines. Like, I thought some of them, they were just really good plays. But maybe that's me having a flawed mindset considering I've seen wide open plays for so long this season. But this comes down to Doug. Doug was bad. And it blows my mind. Where's the creativity offensively? Mike Groh, terrible. What has he done? Like, tell me something Mike Groh has done since he's been here. It's so bad. This offense is embarrassing. And everyone wanted to go get Jalen Ramsey. This game shows you that we are not a Jalen Ramsey away. You do not mortgage those first-round draft picks. Well, you can enter the Howie Roseman's going to pick the wrong people anyway comments right now because I know that's how this works. But we have so many holes. You can argue we have 3,573 holes to fill. Jalen Ramsey isn't the difference in this team making it to the next step or not, all right? We are bad. We have a ton of holes. We are questioning our coaching staff right now. From head coach to coordinators, Jalen Ramsey, yes, he's a great player and he changes things defensively. We have way too many problems right now. We need to keep hard draft picks, and that's reality. Although I see a lot of reports saying, Howie's going to try and make a move now. You saw the Patrick Pederson news as well, that Nelson Agholor and a first-round pick was offered to the Cardinals, according to Bleeding Green Nation, for Patrick Pederson. But I don't even know how I feel about that at this moment. I need more time for that to sink in, because clearly I'm a little frustrated with what I just saw on display out there on the field. Dak, 239 yards, a touchdown and interception. Zeke, 111 yards rushing, 36 in the passing game. Cooper, over 100 yards. Their third down conversions were unreal, 8 of 14, third and longs being converted. Like I said before, missed tackle, some penalties thrown in there. There wasn't one phase of the game that's good. You can look at our special teams. Miles Sanders, he's catching a ball in the end zone and he wants to run it out. Miles Sanders, what the hell are you doing trying to run the football out? He gets taken down at the 10. Well, that's great. You put your team in a bad position. Now, actually, that drive, I believe there were a couple penalties, a couple flags by the Cowboys, and we had some sort of flow there with our offense on that drive, even though we started around the 10 because of Miles Sanders. But, that's not the point here. You can complain about the X's and O's. You can. The problem is, we played uninspiring football. That is the biggest concern in my eyes. The team's not ready to play. The team's not prepared. What is Doug Pederson doing in practice all week long? Is he preparing this team well enough? Clearly not. In the postgame, he was claiming a million times, this is on me, this is on me, this is on me. You're damn right it is, Doug. And is Doug's flaws, are they starting to be shown a little bit more? We thought we had this guru. Isn't this funny, by the way, how quickly the window closes? I tweeted this out. The window closes quick. And it makes me admire the New England Patriots more and more by the second. Our window's closed, everyone. It's time to rebuild this thing. Now, it's not a complete rebuild Miami Dolphins style. We're still going to have somewhat of a competitive team, so I hope, with a rebuilding, getting younger guys. But we're already ready to kind of rebuild this thing. And that's how quickly things change. Let's look at our offense. Goedert, 4 receptions, 69 yards, and oh yeah, that's right, he had that big-time fumble. He had a nice touchdown catch, though. Alshon Jeffrey, 2 receptions, 38 yards. Ertz, 2 receptions, 38 yards as well. But guess what? That was in garbage time, and we were getting blown out by over 20-plus points. Nelson Agholor, 3 receptions, 11 yards. Wow, oh wow, was that bad. Once again, I didn't expect to win. I thought it was a tough spot for the Eagles to go in there, just considering where the Dallas Cowboys have been and with their back somewhat against the wall with all the pressure and losing 3 straight games. I thought it was a tough game for the Eagles to go in there and win. I was actually on 97.3 ESPN this morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. with Billy Schwein, the locker room with Billy Schwein, and I was asked at the end, Broads, what is your opinion? What is the score? How do you think it's going to play out? I said the Cowboys were going to win the game because I just felt that way. It was almost inevitable in my opinion. But I had it competitive. It was a 3-point game. The Eagles were involved. From the jump, the Eagles were not involved. 37-10 might not even do it justice on how much of an ass kicking it was. And that's a problem. How you don't get up to play the Cowboys? How you give the lead up instantly, and you're down 14-0 within 6 minutes of the game? Again? This is what the team is. And it's funny, the narrative on the Cowboys, they only beat bad teams early. Once they saw real competition, they started to lose. That narrative is somewhat still in play. Are the Eagles a good football team? I don't think they're a good football team. So have the Cowboys beat a good team yet? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. So here we are. We are now 3-4 with the Dallas Cowboys 4-3. We play the Buffalo Bills next week, and it's part of this tough road trip that we have. We're 0-2. We're 0-2. Could you imagine going 0-3? Oh, that would be something else. It really would. And oh, by the way, when we do finally go back home, we have to play Khalil Mack and that Chicago Bears defense. Doesn't get any easier. And right now, with the personality of this team and the identity of this team, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look promising. Their identity is no effort. Their identity is not focused. Their identity is not being prepared. That isn't going to be entertaining football. So you do need to realize that going into the rest of the season here. Put your feet up, relax, don't get too stressed out, because this is what the team is. Once you realize this is what the team is, it's way less stressful. You don't freak out as much. You just understand and comprehend the football team you root for does not have a lot of talent. They don't have the right structure. There's no flow in the offense. Their defense gets abused every single week. Things that go unnoticed, like this linebacker core is atrocious. It's so bad. Cameron Hill and Gary? How's that going to stop anything? The linebacking core is bad. The cornerback play, bad. The pressure from the D-line hasn't been great. Now, I know Josh Sweat got in there. I know Derek Barnett got in there. And I know Fletcher Cox got in there a little bit. But overall, they haven't been good enough this season. So, I mean, look at all three phases that I just mentioned in this defense. How do you succeed? Well, it's going to have to start with a little bit of a rebuild, and same with the offense. Matt Collins' name wasn't ever mentioned. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, what is he? He was a second-round draft pick. Dude can't even produce for us. It's time to figure this thing out, and there's so many issues with this team. So just realize it. All right, there we have it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.